Okay, I can't be arsed to move, so, you're just gonna get the video sideways, I guess. At least you can see me. I don't know, my hair is like a fucking mat stuck to my head, but that's because I need to shower. Well, or at least to wash my hair. Um, yeah, I started this video to try and update. I can't even remember what I was going to say. I don't know. It's just been the same old stupid ED shit, really. Um, I mean, what is there to say about the ED shit? It's restricting and taking energy pills so that, number one, my mood doesn't crash horribly, and number two, so I actually have energy, which allows me. Oh, well, and the third one is that these also suppress appetite, so they help me restrict better. Of course, we all know better is really worse in a logical person's eyes. Supposedly, I am a logical person, or some part of me is logical, but certainly not about ED, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It feels logical to me, but I know that to other people it seems stupid, weird, inconceivable. How the hell can you do this to yourself? I guess in order to be able to do this to yourself, there's either a worse pain you're trying to avoid, or it's just a compulsion. Personally, I figure that in pretty much all cases, it's a worse pain that you're trying to avoid. You know, even if it's, I mean, even if your ED is more driven by social stuff, like, oh, every woman has to be thin, or every girl should be thin, and everybody should be thin, like all that sort of drivel, you know, it probably has more to do with the fact that you feel really, really self-conscious, and you feel like nobody's ever going to like you unless you do this. So you do it. So that incredible self-hatred is what drives it. That's part of what drives it for me. In circumstances like mine, of course, there are also other extenuating circumstances, such as, basically right now it's ED or suicide. I can't put it more plainly than that. And the fact of the matter is, although ED will do more damage in long term, for the short term, it keeps me alive. And, you know, of course, it's egosyntonic, which means it goes with what you want, not against what you want. Although, I have a little bit of issues with that at the moment, because part of me wants to eat, part of me knows this is bullshit, and just wants to get back to what I was doing before, which is trying to eat, you know, fairly normally. But I mean, the anorexic mind is really, really loud, yelling at me for how that, you know, you got to 105, you can't get any further than that, now you have to go back down, you know, you can't be in the triple digits, this is disgusting, you're so fucking disgusting and fat and horrible, obese, you know. I gave this analogy to somebody who didn't understand ED at all, and the response was really interesting, actually. I think I actually made them get it, which is hard, as we all know. The analogy I gave was this. Okay, imagine that you weigh 300 pounds. Okay. Now, your doctors are telling you that for your health, you have to gain another 100 pounds. You have to gain it, or you're not ever going to be healthy. And you're thinking, you're yelling, I'm already fucking obese. Why do you want to make me a monster? Why do you want to make me so disgusting, so horrible, so awfully fat? And I'm very sorry about how fat phobic this sounds, but most people get the analogy, sadly, because we live in a very disordered culture. And, honestly, it's exactly what it feels like to me. It feels like being 300 pounds and being told you have to gain 100 pounds. And I'm like, I'm fucking fat as a fucking pig already. How can you even suggest that I gain more weight? Like, are you fucking joking? And add on top of that the fact that I already gained, 20 pounds that stayed. We'll see if that stays. I don't know yet. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I can't predict it. But 20 pounds that stayed, and then 5 that kind of would come on and come off and come on. And now it's coming off again. So it's like also the other analogy, or part of the analogy I gave was that it's like if I already gained 150 fucking pounds, why do you want me to gain 100 more? This is ridiculous, right? Like I used to be a normal weight, and now you've made me fat as a fucking pig, and now you're gonna make me a monstrous blimp, and that's how we feel about it. It doesn't matter what our actual weight is; it matters what we perceive about ourselves and how we see ourselves. And I can look at this camera and go, oh, my face is kind of skinny, but of course I attribute that more to dehydration than to any weight I've lost. The weight I've lost is negligible at best. A little over a pound. Not much. Certainly not enough to do this to my face, which is markedly different, so the energy pills also cause water loss. So, yeah. And my face never gained the weight back. I mean, let's be real. My arms are still relatively skinny. They have gained some weight, but not really on the lower half. You can see all my bones are still there. My fingers are still thin. I gained mostly on the upper half, and to a normal person, it still looks small. But, I mean, I can see. I mean, that simply wasn't there. The muscle's bigger now. Anybody can even see the muscle at this point. But it's like right there, the muscle's smaller. Like the whole arm was just so much smaller. So even though I haven't proportionally gained a lot of weight on it, I can see the weight gain on it. But proportionally, I've gained a huge amount of weight on my breasts. And it's not that I mind it so much. It's just that I know breasts are mostly made of fat, and obviously any weight I gained on them was fat weight. Because all the fibrous tissue would have stayed during the weight loss. And I mean, I don't think it increased. It doesn't. I mean, they don't feel any different than they did last time I was at a weight like this. So I'm assuming they didn't gain any fibrous tissue. They don't feel weird or distorted or anything. I've gained a significant bit of weight to my stomach, which is a sore point with me. They term my views about my stomach like they actually described it as body dysmorphia. It wasn't a diagnosis, but when I think about it, honestly, I do have body dysmorphia about my stomach. Because I think it's like this massive rotund bulge that everybody can see, and it sticks out. And I have to wear clothing to hide it, and I have to suck in if I'm wearing anything even remotely fitting. I might have to suck in anyway if my stomach, has expanded from when I was eating from too much food or eating from too much soda or something. I've gained weight on my love handles. I can see the weight gain on my back. My back is bony as shit, but I was so happy to lose it. It was like finally a marker that I'm actually getting somewhere. Because my back never showed bones before. A little bit of vertebrae, that was it. But when I got to my low weight, I mean, I looked like spindly. Like, you could see, my ano wings, as people call them. I hate the term, but I don't know the other term to describe it. It's shoulder blades? Is that what they're called? I mean, I don't know. Those stuck out quite dramatically. You could see some of my ribs. You could even start to see my pelvic bones, which I thought was really cool because, like, the love handles were the last things that were still hanging on a little bit. My hip bones tend to jut out quite a lot. I lose the stomach somewhat early on, like relatively early on. Like, it's really weird. But I'll still feel like my stomach is fat if it's at least been bloated or anything, but like most of the time, it at least calms me down. It calms me down to know that there's hardly anything in the stomach and it actually looks flat to other people. And I can wear fitted things, or things that are more fitted rather, and not look like a total fucking fat freak. So it's like, there's so much to this. The body dysmorphia is a part, you know, self-hatred's a part, not wanting to kill myself, that's a huge part. That's the biggest part, really. Because I know what would happen if I stopped doing this, and it's like, my rational side was trying to appeal to me again today, and it was like, you know, you binged a little bit last night, I did binge a little bit last night. Somehow, over the last 2 days, even though I've eaten way more than I think I should have, I managed to lose 0.3. I don't know. But, it was telling me, you know, if you're going to continue to binge at night and not eat anything during the day, you're going to gain a bazillion tons, because that's exactly the way people gain weight, is by not eating all day and then eating a ton of shit at night. So it's like, well, you gotta eat more in the morning, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. And it's like, but you should. And I'm like, but I can't. Because I started thinking about the suicide shit again, and I'm just like, I cannot keep going through this rigmarole of going to hospital, suicidal, and being discharged, or being impatient, and, you know, I'm not gonna get very far with ED anyway if I do that. Apparently ED mode is activated, so I don't even know what to say about that. It's just there. It's a thing. I deal with it, or, well, okay, I deal with it positively or negative. Which one's a positive and which one's a negative, you can decide, but I know what a logical person would say, and I know what I would say. So, and those don't necessarily agree. I figured you'd guess. But anyway, this video's 13 minutes, so I'm gonna stop so I don't have to, like, split the video or anything. Hope you all are having at least a decent day. You know, I don't like to say, like, a really great day, because in my life, you know, really, really great days just basically don't exist. So, I hope you're having an alright day, an okay day. I can get through it, and there's not a huge major crisis day, even if you can't have a good day. Because we all know that okay is better than bad. Right. Bye-bye.